Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening, wherever you are on our amazing planet. Wow. When in doubt,
Take a break.
maybe today's episode will be a break.
Why not?
Why try to learn something? Why not just be here? Being here.
Yeah, and enjoy what shows up rather than agree or disagree with it.
Or try to improve yourself, put it into that never ending hamster wheel of self-improvement. Let's just take a break.
You know, I love that you said hamster wheel
Mm-hmm.
because I was looking at this wheel and trying to put a name on it, and you came up with it so perfectly. That's cool.
Yeah, when I was a kid, they had like little metal cage type wheels, and we had hamsters, and we had little ones, and they'd get on there and they'd run, particularly at night, which is kind of funny because I think that's what a lot of people's minds do at night. They go to bed and there's that oh my gosh, you're working on it,
frantically trying to figure out life.
When I go to Petco now, I see they sell hamsters and they have these little plastic discs that are not actually horizontal or vertical. They're kind of on an incline, and the hamsters run on this incline. It's a similar thing, but
probably
quieter for those who are hoping to sleep in the evening. I was working on a blog today.
You were?
Yeah, I was. I didn't tell you, but I was, and there comes a point where it gets blank, and then I can either sit there and try to force the words. I found it so useful to just take a break. In this case, I came down, I was chatting with you, I had a cup of coffee, I pet our cat, just totally step 100% away from the quote project. And I always come back so rejuvenated, or I see something that never occurred to me before. But it really requires letting go of it rather than chewing on it in the absence of it.
Right. That is the thing. When you truly let go of it, you come back refreshed and see it newly. Otherwise, it's the same thing. Everything that's been problematic about it stays problematic about it.
This episode airs toward the end of the year. It's holiday season. And I know a lot of people have details. They're going to visit family. My little ding, ding, ding. See, that's my computer saying, yes, they're going to visit family. They're getting gifts. They're ending projects for the end of the year. And it's so easy to get frantic trying to get it all done. And I don't know about you all, but I have an internal conversation that says, if I just take a break, I am LAZY, lazy.
That was my name throughout grammar school. The teachers would say that I was LAZY because I had dyslexia. And they didn't know what that was back then.
You were just not putting your nose to the grindstone.
Well, you have a very small nose if you put your nose to the grindstone. Who needs plastic surgery?
Well, yeah, clearly we didn't do that. Shall we take our first guest?
Let's, please.
All right, Sweta, welcome to being here. I know it's your first time being a guest. Welcome. Where are you zooming in from?
Hello, my name is Sweta. I'm zooming in from Manhattan, New York.
Welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you, and likewise.
What can we do for you today?
I love the topic you just described. I wanted to talk about being overwhelmed with a lot of things on my to-do list and always feeling like I can't get to it all and things keep piling up to my list. But
Can I stop you? Because what you've said so far is
already
so brilliant, so perfect. See, overwhelm is when you look at your to-do list, the whole thing, and you can't do the whole thing right now. You can only do one thing at a time. So when you feel overwhelmed, it's when you're looking at everything that you've got to do or think you have to do, rather than just looking at what wants to get done right now.
That's exactly how I feel. I look at the list and it feels like it's all coming at me at that time. And you described it.
Yeah, but you can't do it all in one moment. You see?
Ooh, that was a nice breath. She took a breath.
You can't do it all in one moment, Sweta. You can only do what you're doing. Now, here's the thing. If you leave the rest of your to-do list alone when you're doing one item on that to-do list, you'll get it done. And you'll probably get it done quickly because you won't be, excuse me, distracted by the whole to-do list.
Have you ever put your to-do list away?
I might have, but lately I just wake up thinking about it and keep adding to it.
That's the thing. You see, you never get a break when you are worrying about a to-do list and you can't do anything about it right now. It isn't as though you're doing the things on your to-do list. It's you're thinking about the things on your to-do list.
I'm not sure your to-do list is actually a to-do list. You may have hidden on that list some a better me would things. Meaning, I often have to-do lists. What they are is a chronicle or a list of things
that she's going
to do and that I just don't want to forget something. So they are items like, for instance, when we do a seminar that's an in-person seminar, like in the spring, we'll be going to Hamburg, Germany. It's really important that I bring certain items. So I will put them on the list so that as I go to pack, I can check them off so that I don't inadvertently leave them at home. So you're smiling. I know you're getting ready to go. That's very different than keeping them in my head. And a better me would lose 5 pounds before I go, or would like there's a wish list in there, which then has you look at the whole thing and get confused and not want to do any of it.
That's very, very, very accurate, as if you saw my list and you were right in front of me, because I'm leading a couple projects at work and leadership initiatives, and I put those in my list alongside my packing things. So you described the two things, and now I get it, what you were just saying.
Another thing that you just said that caught me, and that was your leadership position. And you have an idea of what a leader is supposed to be like. And you're not that in your own eyes.
Yep, that's right.
Appointing me.
That's right. But I have discovered, Sweta, that my own opinion of me is not other people's experience of me. And so when I was picked to be trained to lead seminars about 50 years ago now, 40 some odd years ago, I thought they were making a mistake choosing me to be a seminar leader.
I'm seeing you smiling.
It's resonating. I haven't been able to put this in words, but in talking in this conversation, I'm feeling it. That's what's been happening to me.
Yeah, but look, here's the thing. Do you trust the people you're working with that they are pretty smart?
Yes.
Good. Then trust that they can see qualities in you that you may not have discovered yet.
Yes.
The other thing is this. If you're normal, the conversation you listen to, your mind, always finds fault with you.
Yeah.
See? And so it is not a very good judge of your quality. The people that work with you, however, are, because they see how you produce. And if you look, you'll see that no matter how good you do on a project, you always think that you should have done it better or faster. Sound right?
Yep, accurate every single time.
Yep.
Let's go back to your packing list and things that you need to actually physically accomplish. Sometimes I get ready to go to bed at night and I realize I have some incompletions or things I want to handle the next day. So one of the things I often do is put in my schedule a thing that says, see notes. And then in the notes section of that, I'm like, call Sweta, laundry. I'm going to do the laundry because I know it's time to do the laundry. But if I put it on the list of things I'm actually going to do, then it comes out of my head. I rest well. And then I'll look at the list the next day and I'll say, oh, I can wait another day for laundry. I'll put it over here, or it's time to make that call. It makes it so much easier because it's simply a reminder of what I'm going to do anyway, rather than a better me would do the laundry today.
Wow. It's such a, maybe it's so simple, but it's so profound to me right now, because when it's looming in my head, it becomes big. A better sweat that I would do laundry in time every week, clean socks, versus wait 2 more days.
There's another thing. Is there anything you don't get done around work?
No, I do it all. I do more.
That's right. So
And do you always eventually get your laundry done?
Yeah, I do. I have to.
Well, then worrying about your ability to get it done is a waste of your time.
And picking on yourself for that which you are not doing in this moment just slows everything down.
Yeah.
Before we started recording this, I had taken I was on a break yesterday and I just went and wandered around and took a walk. And I took a picture of a flower and I edited it. And it's now on my computer screen, but behind you. While I'm talking to you, that flower is no longer editable. It is not shareable. It is not, I actually can't see it because the whole Zoom screen, I can see it around the edges. I think lots of times you get the list and actually one thing jumps forward and you think you should be doing it all. Everything that you're not actively engaged in is frozen or background or inaccessible. And if you really see that you can actually only unitask, can only do one thing at a time, life becomes so easy and you don't have to pick on yourself for that which you are not doing. Because it doesn't mean I'm any less interested in that flower. It just means it is not in front of me right now. You are.
Wow. Well, it's very interesting. Every time I've come to the in-person seminars, or in the evenings when I've come to the Monday night seminars, the day following the week off, I remind myself, okay, it automatically happens. I'm in the moment. I'm better at unitasking. I'm better. And then I go back into ways of when my brain is picking on me and things. I think.
Well, here's the thing, dear. You don't realize the impact other people have on you in that they don't have the facility of unitasking. They're all multitasking. They're all trying to get everything done at once. And it's easy enough to get sucked into that dynamic and lose your simplicity trying to get it all done. But by handling one thing at a time, you get an amazing amount done in very little time.
When I first moved to New York, it was the late 70s, and it was legal to smoke in restaurants and bars. So even though I didn't smoke, I'd go out to my local bar, have a meal, because they have really good mussels, like mussels and wine sauce, which I really liked at that time.
Yeah.
Come home and I would stink like smoke. And so it was not a problem to take a shower and wash my hair. You say that you sometimes start thinking and worrying again as if that is a failing on your part rather than
You've just picked up the
common ambiance in the air around you. The second, it's like secondhand thinking instead of secondhand smoke. And living made easies on Mondays or Saturdays or Tuesdays or the seminars are like taking a shower.
Yeah, that happens to me.
And similarly, this podcast. And I think sometimes people hear these podcasts and they're like, wow, that was great. I was like taking a shower. And it doesn't occur to them that they can just share that with a friend or a family member or a colleague. It's as if wanting a shower or getting centering is somehow a failing on our part, as opposed to, hey, I got a whole bunch of hot water at my house. You can come take a shower at my house.
I almost, sometimes when I cannot attend the seminar, one of the things automatically comes to me, not as frequent as I would like, but it does come just to remind myself to breathe and be here. And I remember the 3 principles and I try to orient, but when I come to a seminar, it really automatically untangles. So I like the shower analogy a lot. It resonates.
What you just said was so beautiful, that when you tell yourself you should remember to relax, you don't relax. But when you come to a seminar, relaxation happens, and it's just out of your listening to people.
I imagine, Sweta, that there are listeners today who, when you said, oh, wow, like things relaxed for them out of listening to you. Listening is such an amazing gift where you hear something and it just untangles. It was a really good analogy on your part.
It was happening. I'm not thinking, I'm just talking based on how I'm feeling and watching you guys on Zoom and your fingers and hands. And I'm so in here in this moment and I'm actually feeling relaxed.
That's great.
Well, that's great. Yes.
Thank you for giving of your time and your actual interest today. It's made an impact for people.
Yeah, definitely has made a difference for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing you drop into the magnificence that you are, rather than trying to get somewhere, is just a gift. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And it's a gift for me to be here. And if I can provide anything to anybody, it's a gift for me. So thank you for the chance.
Very, very welcome. It's that time.
The time for what?
Our listener feedback spotlight.
What is that?
Well, I'm so proud of the people who listen to this show. And now we get to hear from one or more of them about what's happening in their lives with transformation by listening to this podcast and
what
or,
they've discovered about life, what they've discovered about their lives, that they are experiencing fun in their lives.
and that they want to share it with you.
Yeah.
Hi, here's Maike from Düsseldorf. Transformation made easy for me means being alive, feeling myself, enjoying every moment, every little Augenblick.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Happy holidays, everyone. It is upcoming. So there are no more Living Made Easy seminars for the rest of this year. We will be starting 2024 with a Transformation in the New Year Living Made Easy event. There'll be 2 of them on Tuesday evening, the 2nd of January. Since the first is a Monday, we've decided to do both seminars on Tuesday this year. So we'll be starting a little differently. So if you'd like to join us for Transformation in the New Year.
Well, it'll be translated for the European community.
For the European evening time zone, 1:30 to 3:30.
It's translated into German.
So 7:30 to 9:30 European time. And then we'll do the Tuesday evening in the Eastern time zone.
And that'll be translated into English by you.
New Beginnings is our virtual seminar at the beginning of the year, the virtual weekend. It's on the 6th and 7th. It is our last seminar before we head off to Costa Rica. We will be there for the better part of January. And so you can find out all of our schedule at transformationmadeeasy.com. It's not too late to get a 2024 Transformation Made Easy calendar. All the pictures that I took, it was put together by a very talented designer, Wendy Madhusudan, and she does beautiful work. Still is a great holiday gift. There's time to order them or to have for yourself for 2024. If you're not yet on our newsletter, it's a great time to sign up also, because there are really moving blogs from people in this community. We write blogs as well. We have videos each month and information about these podcasts. So if you'd like any or all of that, just go to transformationmadeeasy.com.
Our next guest
is Christian. Welcome to being here, Christian. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, this is Christian. I'm zooming in from Munich.
In Germany.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Well,
Bavaria, so to say.
Bavaria, yes. We've been there. We visited friends in Bavaria and in Munich.
Yes. So welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to have you on.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Do you have a question for us or something you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. It's a rather general question I come up with. Can you challenge yourself and relax at the same time? Let me explain that. I want to share an experience with you, which happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I registered for a training which is done by some sort of a personal trainer or coach, and he put all the participants in a 5 weeks challenge. That is, you have to overcome your fears on 30 consecutive days. And so what they did is they came up with a list of 35 challenges. It comprised things like dancing in the public or singing in the public or finding strangers who would lead you through the public with a blindfold on your eyes, for instance, or buying a sausage of 150 grams, exactly 150, not 149 or 151, but 150. So it also comprised a bit, maybe bullying people even. So, and you could choose these challenges to be done in whatever sequence you like. And what I did is I started with the most difficult ones, because I thought if I'm going to procrastinate the really difficult ones, it's going to take my sleep away. And probably it would have done. And in general, I found it quite valuable, learned quite some things, but actually I felt uncomfortable for the entire 5 weeks. Sometimes I had some feeling of relief if I when I had done a really difficult challenge, but it lasted only for maybe 1 hour or 2, and then I started bullying myself again. Okay, I have to go on, and it's so interesting for me because it's actually something. Yeah,
I really love you.
Thank
Because
you.
what you're talking about is so real. You know, no matter how good you do anything, very soon thereafter, that conversation that you listen to, that in your case calls itself Christian, complains that you could have done it better or differently or something to that effect, where it undervalues what you've accomplished.
Exactly.
Is, you know, as you say this, you're absolutely accurate. There's not enough you can do to satisfy that thought process.
That bully in you, that's bullying you to be better.
That authoritarian that's telling you should have no fear. Well, if you have fear, maybe it's a useful experience to investigate. But man, trying to change you to some idea or ideal of what a perfect person should be like, that's a painful ordeal.
So,
right.
In answer to your question, can you do a challenge and relax? The answer is yes. It takes a couple of components. As you described this journey you went on, I see a few things. Somewhere in there, you forgot that you chose it.
Right.
So, and there's a high likelihood that you chose it because you thought you would be a better person at the end of the 30 days or the end of the challenge. So the if-then scenario that most of our minds are structured with tends to lead to discomfort, pain, self-bullying. If I do this challenge well, then I will be fill in the blank, a better person, a happier person. I'll be less fearful. The if-then thing is change. It is possible to have fun with that which you are doing, including those challenges that you gave yourself using your personal trainer as an excuse to give yourself those challenges.
Yes. Yeah, well, I'm thinking that I would never place myself in a situation like that, you know, to ask people for money on the street or whatever. And then I think, well, if I register for this kind of training, then I'm somewhat placed in it and do not have a choice. But of course, it remains a task for me, you know.
But
you're
accurate. You do have a choice. I'll bet you there are plenty of people who signed up for that didn't do all those things.
You're probably very right. Yeah, you're probably very right with that. Yes.
See, you have a moral compass in you that when you give your word to do something, you do it.
Yes.
Now, you may victimize yourself that you have to do it, even if you volunteered to do it. So you told yourself, well, I'm going to do this thing. But once in the midst of it, it doesn't seem like such a good idea anymore.
Yeah, of course I had to finish it, but didn't feel comfortable
Right.
while doing it.
So somehow you cause yourself discomfort
Yeah.
to continue doing it, but it's see, those things don't support your well-being,
What things?
your challenges. You know, when I climb that mountain, then I will be a better person. Well, you climb the mountain, you get up to the crest, and you look up, and there's another mountain.
Yeah.
What's that?
True. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like you cannot satisfy a machine.
Mm.
The machine is not satisfiable, and the conversations that you listen to in your thoughts are part of a mechanism, a survival mechanism that talks to you all the time.
Yes.
Now, even right now, it's probably saying something. What is he talking about?
Oh, yeah.
No, you're right.
That, or,
Yeah, but it's saying something.
It is saying something. It is some sort of a circle I'm in. I've been all my life, obviously. And you were exactly right when you said that. In the end, no matter what happens, I'd keep telling myself, "Oh, I could have done better."
But
Was that really enough?
wait a
I
second.
love you.
See, what you just said was, I keep telling myself. Well, what if that first I isn't you?
And the yourself isn't you. What if that is the machine talking to itself?
That's right.
Mm.
See, that
Yes.
conversation that repeats itself, you know, we have many, many thoughts a day, several tens of thousands of thoughts a day, but they're thoughts we've had before. If not the day before that, or the day before that, because the mind keeps repeating the same thoughts over and over again.
Yes.
And so if you listen to those thoughts and believe them to be you, you can never find satisfaction. Because satisfaction resides in your experience of living, not your thoughts about living.
Yes.
When you're, this morning I made poached eggs on toast for breakfast for Ariel and myself.
Yes.
Yes, I did. And
Yes, you did.
I produced perfectly made poached eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it not by talking to myself, but by being there in the cracking of the egg, being there in the straining of the egg, being there in the placing of the eggs in the water. You know, if you're there for what you're doing, perfection exists in that moment. If you're in your thoughts about what you're doing, you are one step removed from the experience of what you're into. And the experience is satisfying. The thoughts about it are like a book being written about what you did yesterday.
Yes.
Not the same as when you take a deep breath and feel that air filling your lungs. It's just not the same.
Right.
I have two thoughts.
Please.
These challenges you did were really fascinating to me because I think, we're getting ready to the first of the year. People are going to give themselves challenges. I'm going to challenge myself to eat differently or move differently, or, this year people
resolutions.
Give themselves resolutions. And I have the idea that you did not entertain that these could all be easy, that if they were easy, they would not have value.
Exactly.
And then, so let's take one of the challenges given to you by your coach was go out into public and ask for money from a stranger, which is not something you would normally do and something you'd be reluctant to do, and you'd have a whole conversation with yourself about.
Yeah.
So Sweta mentioned in the last segment the three principles. The first thing is anything you resist, persist, grow stronger, dominates your life. So I wouldn't be surprised if the fact is you're going to go out and do that, but you're going to talk to yourself about, do I want to do that? How can I do that? I don't like doing that. You resist the action you're planning to take. And third principle, anything you see completes itself in an instant. So there's a possibility of wholehearted engagement. Life shows up, you're stepping out onto the street, you're looking around, you're about to ask a stranger. You can either pretend it's not your idea, have that gap, or you actually step into it like it's your idea. And then in a certain respect, it's effortless. And I'm flashing on our friend Susan, who discovered that she had a breast cancer, and the doctors ultimately recommended that she have a mastectomy. And it was so fascinating and inspiring for her to watch, for us to watch the different steps she took. Well, not that we watched it, but that she would come and relate to us how she kept doing it as if breast cancer and the steps she needed to take were her idea, rather than, I don't want to do this.
Victimizing
this
yourself.
This is not my preference. Of course, it wasn't her preference. But that you entertained in that gap between knowing what you were going to do and actually doing it, you entertained the conversation about whether or not you wanted to.
Yeah, it's very true. I really like this. Making it your own idea. Because the interesting thing at it is that when doing these challenges, they felt completely differently most of the time. Actually, always. You couldn't predict how it would feel. But in any event, I never was in fear while doing it. I just was in fear just before I did it. It was a completely unrealistic feeling. That's what I learned in these days.
But what I find interesting about this, when you mention these challenges, you said singing in public or dancing in public. And I thought I would be a better person if I could sing in public. I had that thought. Because I have hesitancy to sing in public. I don't consider myself a great singer. So in any event, I had the same thought that you would have, that if I could do that, I'd be a better person. Once, many, many years ago, Ariel and I walked on fire. We walked over hot coals because we thought we'd be better people on the other side of that. I mean, if I could do that, I could do anything, right?
Yes.
That type of thing. Well, we did it, but it didn't have any long-term lasting effect because it was coming from the idea that we were somehow deficient, not perfect in this moment.
Yes.
Christian, you are perfect in this moment. There's nothing lacking in you in this moment. You can only be exactly as you are in this current moment. So what makes you think you're not perfect all the time?
Yeah. I can't answer that question.
You don't have to. But you see, the thing is this: when you misidentify yourself with the conversation you listen to, and you can never be perfect enough for that conversation to be satisfied.
Yeah.
But that is that conversation's job. It's a perfect conversation about your imperfections.
Yes.
Because it's driving you toward what it thinks is your survival. And that's its job.
Yeah.
But it may not be where satisfaction lives. So even if you accomplish all of your goals, there may not be any satisfaction in it if you're looking in the wrong place to find satisfaction.
And if we
Yeah.
back off from this multiple day challenge you gave yourself,
Mm.
I suspect that every day we have little challenges to
Yes.
not bully ourselves when we want to take a break. Most of us, it was funny. We did a recent course at Camp Tecumseh here in New Jersey, and different participants, there just wasn't stuff that was required of them on the break. So lots of times they went and took a nap. And one of the participants said, I wasn't tired, but I took a nap anyway. And it was a great nap. And it was very funny because it reminded me of when I was a kid, saying that I don't need to nap, only babies nap, because
Yes.
was what we were required to do in kindergarten and in first grade. So somehow, if we needed to take a break or wanted to take a break, that turned us into a baby. Now, I'm not a baby. I'm grown up like my sisters were in third grade or fifth
Yes.
grade, So there's a daily, I love that you introduced this idea, a daily bullying that we do with ourselves, but with awareness and non-judgment.
Yeah.
You have options.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's probably the best finding you can take out of these 5 weeks, that it's never going to stop if you just go on like that, because it didn't change, even when it was over, even when it got easier, because with all these difficult things being done, it didn't change. Because you always can find a way if, I could have done better, thinking about the next thing to do. It's just like Sveta just said, it's all about lists you look at. Yeah.
Well, maybe it would be okay if you discovered that you're okay the way you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to challenge you to be better.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be great.
I did the 5 weeks for everybody else, so
we don't have to do them.
Reliably relate that you did a lot of things and you challenged a lot of stuff, and it was very cool and all of that, but it didn't change anything. That you were you.
Yeah, true. Actually, didn't change anything, except for I had fun while doing it. I have to say that.
Yes, well, that's great. But a month from now or a year from now, you'll think, I need to challenge myself some other way, because that's what that voice does. It says, you're not okay exactly as you are. You need to prove your okayness.
And that if you are okay the way you are, you'll get complacent. And then you'll fall behind, or you won't be enough, or
right. Stagnation, you call that? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. I think sometimes you have really just to step out of that, and that's why it's so nice to talk about it. Because I have to say, I didn't talk about that much. I didn't even talk about it with my friends, with most of my friends, because they think maybe, he's really on this self-improvement trip now,
Yes.
So I didn't even dare telling it.
But Christian, the self-improvement trip is a trip. See, it comes from the idea that you're not great, okay, perfect as you are.
Right.
And if you get that you're perfect as you are, life flows easily around you, rather than you're a rock in the middle of your own river.
That's a nice picture.
We'll leave you with that then. Thank you.
Sorry?
We'll leave you with that picture then.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Really nice to have the chance to talk with you about that.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Really happy to share that with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We are happy to hear about it. Thanks for giving of yourself and being one of our guests today. It's a treat.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This was both Sweta's and Christian's first time on the Being Here podcast. And if you would like to be a guest or submit one of the listener spotlights, which is the little blurb in the middle where people talk about their experience of transformation. You are welcome to do either or both. Just go to transformationmadeeasy.com/being here and find out how. But don't challenge yourself to do it if it's not something you want to do. If it is something you want to do, you're very, very welcome. You ready for next week's episode?
I am.
It's about transformation as opposed to working on yourself to be a better you. The theme is
from inept to adept.
It happens in an instant. We'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't miss being here.